170-pound Cane Corso sat in a shelter for 487 days. 26 families looked at him, 26 families walked away. Too big, too dark, too much. Then a 63-year-old retired carpenter named Walter Hayes signed the adoption papers, not for himself, for a 7-year-old boy who hadn't spoken a full sentence in 5 months. And the small camera Walt clipped above that boy's bed would catch something every single night that nobody in that house could explain. Walter Hayes lived alone on a quiet street in Folsom, California, in a single-story house with a backyard pool he hadn't filled in 3 summers. His wife Eleanor had passed 4 years earlier, and after that, the rooms got quieter. He drank his coffee at 6:15 every morning at a kitchen table built for a family that wasn't there anymore. He told himself he was fine. Then last spring, everything changed. His grandson Eli came to live with him. Eli was 7 years old, small for his age, barely 45 pounds, with dark hair that fell over his eyes and a habit of staring at the floor. He had been through 3 different foster homes in 2 years, 3 different families who all said the same thing: too quiet, too much, won't connect. Each one sent him back. By the time Eli arrived at Walt's door with 1 duffel bag and a worn green dinosaur blanket, he had stopped expecting anyone to keep him. For the first few weeks, Eli barely spoke. He ate what he was given and went to bed when he was told. But at night, Walt would hear him crying through the wall, quietly, like he had learned a long time ago that nobody was coming. Walt didn't know how to reach a boy the world had already handed back 3 times. He was 63 years old and out of ideas. I see you've made it this far without subscribing, and that stings a little. A kid like Eli needs people who stay. Hit subscribe and don't leave him now. So Walt tried the only thing he could think of. He drove Eli 25 minutes to the county animal shelter. He told himself they were just looking, that a rescue dog was the last thing a grieving man and a silent boy needed. But the moment they walked past Kennel 14, Eli stopped. Inside was Moose, not just big, massive, 170 pounds of solid muscle, a brindle coat streaked dark like burnt wood, a head the size of a bowling ball, and eyes that had clearly stopped expecting anything good to walk by. 1 ear was notched. He didn't bark, he didn't rise, he just lay there, the way a dog lies when he has run out of reasons to hope. A shelter worker named Carla walked up beside them. "That's Moose," she said. "He's been here 487 days. We've had 26 families come through for him. Everyone took a look at his size and kept walking. People hear Cane Corso and they panic." "Why is he still here?" Walt asked. Carla sighed. "Because nobody wants a 170 pounds of dog that looks like that. He has never hurt a soul. He just watches and waits. People don't know what to do with a rescue dog who takes being left behind that seriously." And then Eli, who had not volunteered a single word in days, walked right up to the kennel doors and sat down on the cold concrete floor. Moose lifted his enormous head. For a long moment, the boy nobody wanted and the dog nobody wanted just looked at each other. Then Moose leaned forward and pressed his huge head sideways against the bars, slow and careful, and let out one low sound. Not a bark, not a whine, almost a word: "Please." Eli turned around and said the first full sentence Walt had heard in 5 months. "He's like me." Walt paid the $95 adoption fee and signed the papers 30 minutes later. The first 72 hours were chaos. Moose knocked over a lamp within his tail within the first 10 minutes, just by existing. He discovered the couch and decided it belonged to him, all 170 pounds, sinking the cushions 6 inches. He drooled a puddle the size of a dinner plate at every meal. But nobody at that shelter mentioned the rest. Behind that scarred face and that intimidating size was a brain that read people like a book, and Moose had been reading Eli since the second that boy sat down on the floor. That first night, Walt laid up a dog bed in the corner of Eli's room. By 11 p.m., it was empty. Moose had climbed onto Eli's small bed, circled once, and lowered his massive head directly over Eli's chest, right over his heart. And for the first night since he had arrived, Walt did not hear Eli cry through the wall. Walt had clipped a small $40 camera above the bed 3 weeks earlier, back when Eli's crying kept them both up. Now, every night, that little camera caught the same thing. Around 9 p.m., Moose would climb onto the bed, turn one slow circle, and settle his enormous head over Eli's chest, with one long, rumbling groan that shook his whole 170-pound frame. It was the same every night, like clockwork, like a promise. And slowly, something started to change in that house. Eli began talking to Moose first thing in the morning, full sentences, whole stories. He told the dog about school, about his dreams, about things he could never say to a grown-up. Moose listened to all of it with the patience of a dog who had spent 487 days waiting for one person to need him. By week 3, Eli was laughing, real laughing. Moose had developed a ridiculous habit of sneezing one enormous, full-bodied sneeze every single time someone said the word walk, and Eli thought it was the funniest thing on earth. The boy who used to stare at the floor now ran through the house with a 170-pound shadow trotting 6 inches behind him. Walt caught himself smiling at the kitchen table for the first time in 4 years. Moose had rules. The green dinosaur blanket was sacred. Every night, he carried it from the couch to Eli's bed in his mouth, dropped it, and only then lay down. If Eli forgot it, Moose would not settle until it was found. Stories like this are exactly the reason this whole channel exists. Then, about 4 months in, Moose started doing something new. Every night after Eli fell asleep, Moose would climb off the bed and walk a slow circuit of the house, the living room, the kitchen, the sliding door to the backyard, where he would stand and stare into the dark for nearly 20 minutes before coming back. Walt saw it on the camera and didn't think much of it. Maybe a raccoon, maybe the wind. He had no way of knowing Moose had already noticed something he hadn't. Eli had started getting up at night. The night that changed everything was a Tuesday in October at 2:47 in the morning. The same dog 26 families refused to take home. The same dog the shelter called too big, too dark, too much. The same dog who spent 487 days being passed over by everyone who walked by. That dog was about to prove all of them wrong. Walt was asleep when the barking started. Not Moose's lazy someone is at the door bark. This was sharp, frantic, relentless, a sound that yanked Walt out of bed before he was fully awake. He ran down the hall to Eli's room and his heart stopped. The bed was empty. The green dinosaur blanket was on the floor. The sliding door to the backyard was open. Eli had been sleepwalking. He'd walked straight out the back door, across the patio, in the dark, toward the one thing in that yard that could take a 7-year-old in under a minute. The pool, the one Walt had filled that summer so the boy could learn to swim. If this is making you feel something right now, you are exactly who these stories are made for. By the time Walt reached the back door, it was already over. Eli was at the shallow steps of the pool, soaked, coughing, gasping, and very much alive, and clamped gently around the back of his dinosaur pajamas, holding the boy's head above the water, was 170 pounds of brindle Cane Corso, planted on the top step, refusing to let go. Moose had heard the bed creak. Moose had followed the boy out the door. Moose had gone into the water after a child who couldn't swim, and he had not let go. Walt pulled them both out. He held his sobbing, shivering grandson on the cold concrete at 2:51 in the morning, while a soaking wet 170-pound dog pressed against them both and would not stop licking the boy's face. Walt didn't say anything. He just held on. Later, when the fear finally drained out of him, Walt did the math. The boy had been outside for maybe 90 seconds. The water was 4 feet deep at the steps. A 7-year-old who has never learned to swim has almost no time at all. Without Moose in that house, without a rescue dog who slept with his head over a little boy's heart every single night and noticed the moment that boy got up, Walt knew exactly what kind of morning he would have woken up to. He thought about the 26 families who had looked at Moose and seen 170 pounds of danger. Not one of them had seen this, a dog who would walk into dark water at night for a child who, only 6 months earlier, had been a stranger to him too. 2 souls nobody wanted who found each other just in time. And the camera above the bed had caught it all. The empty bed, the open door, and the dog nobody wanted going out into the dark after the boy nobody wanted and bringing him home. Today, Eli is 8 years old. He talks all the time now, mostly to Moose, who listens to every word like it is the most important thing he has ever heard. He is learning to swim, with Moose sitting at the edge of the pool watching every stroke, like a 170-pound lifeguard. He still has the green dinosaur blanket. Moose still carries it to bed every night, turns his one slow circle, and settles his great head over Eli's chest with that same long groan. The silence that used to fill Walt's house is gone. It left the week Moose arrived, and it never came back. 3 foster homes sent a little boy back and called him too much. 26 families looked at a 170-pound dog and saw a problem. It took one quiet old man, one rejected dog, and one unwanted boy to prove that the ones the world gives up on are very often the ones who save us. When a dog gets up in the night, when he stares at a door, when he refuses to leave a child's side, don't call it strange, don't call it too much. Trust him. They notice things we lost the ability to see a long time ago. And if you are ever standing in a shelter, looking at the biggest, darkest, most overlooked dog in the room, the one everybody else kept walking past, please look again. Do your research, prepare your home, and understand what you are taking on. Because sometimes the most loyal heart in the world is wearing the face people are most afraid of, and all it is waiting for is a forever home. 26 families saw a 170-pound Cane Corso and saw a monster. A 7-year-old boy looked at the exact same dog and saw himself. Would you have walked past Moose like the other 26 families, or would you have been the one to bring him home? Tell me in the comments.